Salut tout le monde, c'est Félix Séraphin. On se retrouve pour un nouvel épisode de Dragon Age The Veilguard. Là, j'ai la possibilité de taper la causette avec mes compagnons sur le coup. Donc je vais commencer par Tash, la Kunari, qui se trouve à l'étage. Bon, je peux aussi aller parler à Emmerich.
Hi, Emmerich. You've got a guest.
Ah, Rook. You remember the Hand of Glory?
Hard to forget. You figure out what those Venatori who broke into the necropolis were doing with it.
The Hand is how they broke in. The simpler undead are blind to its bearer when its tapers are lit. Sadly, only a death mage could have provided them with this forbidden necromancy.
If they're helping the Venatori, that has to stop.
Agreed. I've made some inquiries. This man is one of the death mage's victims. If he knows where this rogue necromancer is hiding, my corpse whispering will give us the answer.
C'est parti.
Floor's all yours.
It shouldn't take long. I must warn you, it will be harder to coax answers from this poor man than from the dead I spoke to in the necropolis. Let flame rekindle your sight. Let breath and light rise again. Who did this to you?
Eyes hidden, dust and cold.
Give us a name.
They come for this one. The spirits shriek. They come.
A name?
Blackthorn.
Return to your rest.
Bon, ça c'est perturbant.
Guess not everybody wants to give up its secrets.
Corpse whispering is a delicate process.
Uh-huh.
Blackthorn Manor is an abandoned country house outside Navarra City. Our victim mentioned spirits. If they've also fallen prey to forbidden magic, they'll need our help as well. Let's depart for Blackthorn when you're ready. I'd like to speak to the necromancer behind all this.
Bon, pour cette quête-là, j'y reviendrai plus tard. Pour l'instant, j'ai d'autres compagnons avec qui causer. Allez, autour de Tash.
Hey, good. I wanted to ask you something. My mother and I have a weekly dinner thing. I was gonna meet her in Ravane. Wanna come? Fresh food. And I wanted to know you're good to work with.
Sure.
Ok.
Dweller, an invitation has manifested to the Black Emporium in Docktown. The antiquarian there is stagnant and stubborn, but he offers forgotten treasures for those in need.
Ok.
Offer, Dweller. I will answer.
Et là, j'en profite pour améliorer l'équipement de mes compagnons. Ok, là, faut que j'aille parler à Davrine.
Davrin. Doing some renovations.
Building a trophy cabinet. The figures I'm carving.
You know that won't save them from a son.
I had to rescue the latest piece of what I was working on from his beak. I'm carving a Tosh figure. They'll fight the other monsters, and then oops. Guess that Herlock was too much to handle there, Tosh. Time to call a Grey Warden.
Really?
No, there's no wood in the world strong enough to carve their temper.
Maybe you could carve the rest of us.
Maybe. It might be good to carve the people still around, once this is all over.
So, when you're making those carvings, if your leader just happened to look a little taller?
I don't measure them to scale, Rook.
All right. I'll see you around.
Ok. Tiens, je peux de nouveau lui parler. Ah oui, c'est vrai, j'ai un cadeau à lui refiler. Que j'ai acheté chez le marchand dans l'épisode précédent.
Good taste.
Voilà. Oula. Zut. Oh, mince, encore tombé dans le vide.
I've heard that helps people think. Can't say I've had luck.
Alors attendez, je consulte un peu les quêtes. Et là, je vais faire une quête secondaire dans la croisée des chemins. Là, je vais changer le groupe. Attendez voir, je vais embarquer avec moi Bellara et Davrine. Bon. Alors, voyons voir.
Balara, it seems like your brother Syrian's mixed up with the wrong crowd.
Yeah, I still don't understand.
Well, the Grey Wardens have taught me that no one's beyond redemption.
I hope so.
Et cette fois, j'ai l'essence de champion qui me permet de passer ici. Oula,
The ungodly.
Divinatory.
Take him down!
Là, faut que je fasse vite. Bon, j'avais la flemme de lire.
heretics!
Ok, Vlad Devinatory en bas.
Got company.
Ranged! Now!
Oula, voilà d'autres Venatori.
Careful ahead.
More power!
Finish them off!
There. The Venatori can't lock us out anymore.
Be ready.
Oula.
Get clear.
Venatori built that.
Maybe from components they found here so they could seal up the doors.
Alors voilà un hôtel du loup implacable. Ah, voilà. Là, j'ai pu ainsi augmenter ma santé. Augmenter ma barre de santé. Maintenant, je vais faire ce que je voulais faire à la base. C'est-à-dire choper un autre fragment des souvenirs de Solas. Là, je vois qu'il y a d'autres Venatori dans les parages. On va falloir d'abord s'occuper d'eux.
Another of those Fen Harel altars.
Ah, je peux. Ok, je peux pas encore y aller.
That's another barrier down.
Et voilà d'autres Venatori. Mince, j'ai loupé mon coup. Ok, il est passé où cet enfoiré?
There. That's what the Venatori are after. Why were the Venatori after this statuette? Just being near it makes me feel regret.
Et voilà ce que je devais choper. Là, j'ai gagné 2 nouvelles compétences. De nouvelles runes pour ma dague. Ok, c'est bon. Maintenant, je retourne à notre quartier général. Alors maintenant, voyons voir ce que donnait le dernier souvenir qu'on a chopé.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god, the strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the Elven people? They deserve it.
The Elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Ok.
Solus killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Ça, c'était ils avaient montré ça à la fin de Dragon Age Inquisition.
Every big mistake Solus made is tied to Mythal. He sacrificed his life as a spirit to join her.
He sacrificed his morals when he created the dagger to stop the Titans.
When the other gods struck her down, he destroyed the Elven Empire to avenge her.
Then he wakes up in this world, where everything's gone but his mistakes. And there she is, alive.
And after all he's done, she sides against him again.
All these mistakes are his fault. And hers too. If she won't help him fix the world, of course he has to kill her.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mithal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the Veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mithal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
The bad news is that the god of lies and trickery is almost definitely preparing to betray us. The good news is that we've gone through his dirty laundry.
So, we know his motivations. You think we can set a trap of our own?
That's the hope.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
Ah, ok. Bon, allez, je vais faire ça vite fait. Retrouver Morrigan à la croisée des chemins. Allez, je vais prendre ces deux-là. Le même groupe que tout à l'heure. Et donc, faut que je retrouve Morrigan ici.
Well met.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mithal?
Mithal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mithal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mithal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mithal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
Ça a à voir avec les esprits.
So, if Mythal was originally a spirit, maybe that's how she survived her body's death.
Very good. Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again she was struck down, on this occasion by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
Voilà, donc là maintenant, Morrigan porte en elle un esprit de métal.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon? Or Solus?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right. So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
This isn't the strangest thing I've heard, but it's close.
'Tis difficult to describe, even now. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me. But I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
Tout ça c'était expliqué dans Dragon Age Inquisition, donc si vous avez vu mon let's play là-dessus, je vais pas vous faire un dessin.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mathal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
The fall of our civilization, the wars, everything elves went through. Where was Mythal for us then?
After the god's betrayal, she was a shadow of her former self, bereft of her power, slowly regaining her strength over the centuries. So she aided the elves as she could, speaking in dreams and offering counsel that ended blights and prevented wars.
At least now we know. You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mythal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Solus talks a lot about what has to be done, being forced to make hard choices. But it's like he's trying to talk himself into it. I think, deep down, he doesn't entirely believe what he's saying.
'Tis exactly like the old wolf to tie himself into the most intricate knots. 'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Well, that's not terrifying at all.
You have been thrust into the lives of gods. Fate will have its way, whether or without our permission.
Even more comforting, Morrigan.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry.
Oula.
Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
All of that sounded great until survived the encounter.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Algernon and Gillenane, or against the Dreadwolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanurus, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Algernon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
There is one more thing, if I may. Something whispered not by myself, but Mythal. The elves have learned many of the glories and horrors of ancient Elvenon. Yet your people live in this world now as the old elves never could. Know it as they could not. There is your strength. 'Tis why you shall surpass what came before one day.
Did Mythal see this? Is it a prediction?
A hope from a mother to her distant children, no less beloved than any before them.
Ok. Allez, on va choper le fragment de métal. Bon, quoique sur le coup, je vais procéder à un petit changement de groupe. Et je vais prendre Emmerich et Bellara. Bon allez, maintenant on va trouver le fragment d'esprit de Mythal. Ah, voilà le guide.
A god's fragment, sharper than the whole, prevail, or be sundered completely.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was.
Ok.
That has to be her.
Do you believe she'll be willing to speak with us? Or are we bound for violence?
Guess we'll find out.
Ok, nous y voilà.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. I never again expected to see my children in the Dreadwolf's crossroads. And you know who I am.
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solas. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Have you come to seek the blessing of your god? Or did you come to ask your god to sacrifice herself to help you defeat the monsters Elganon and Gillenane have become?
Ah, je sais pas trop quoi lui dire.
Morrigan was right. Talking to you is a waste of time.
You listen to the human and the cowardly echo she carries. Pathetic. You desire the essence of a god and think you deserve it. Then take it if you can!
Oh merde.
Everyone get ready.
Her draconic form is quite formidable.
Bon, attendez, je vais recommencer. Je vais recommencer ma petite causette avec elle.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was.
Et là, je vais voir si je peux pas plutôt essayer de la raisonner.
That has to be her.
Mythal herself. There's so much we could learn if... Do you think she might talk to us instead of attacking?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. I never again expected to see my children in the Dreadwolf's crossroads. And you know who I am.
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solas. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Have you come to seek the blessing of your god? Or did you come to ask your god to sacrifice herself to help you defeat the monsters Elganon and Gillenane have become?
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world, and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years from knowing the proper words.
We saw Solus's memories, his regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree, twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me. Make your case, and I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganan and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version. It has been centuries since a petitioner stood before me, so why should I help you?
Alors.
If I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the Blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the Blight. We know it came from the imprisoned dreams of the Titans after you and Solus defeated them.
And?
And the Blight only happened because of what you did. You need to fix your mistake.
My mistake? I saved lives and ended a war, you petulant child. Your words are weak. Prove your worth or die.
Ok, là... Ça n'a pas marché.
Everyone get ready.
Wow. She's enormous.
Bon, je vais devoir m'arrêter là. Mais dans le prochain épisode, je ferai une nouvelle tentative pour la raisonner sans avoir à l'affronter. Allez, à bientôt tout le monde!